Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Aftermath here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, AR the Ohio Patriot. And for today's episode, we're going to basically go off something that Duke was talking about in his stream here on YouTube a little bit ago, which is the slow claps. And as I put here, the slow claps number one for peanuts is what it is, because that's true at the end of the day, dude. Like, what we saw, honestly, with the lockdowns 4 years ago, and then obviously all these companies, all these giant corporations, your McDonald's types and stuff like that is what it was. And they were giving like new hires, like all these incentives and like free phones, or it was like, you work for us for like a couple weeks and then you're going to get like this huge bonus is what it is then and stuff. And it's like, yeah, it was a bunch of shit, honestly. And it was a slap in the face to all their employees at that time, by the way, who were already working at these places for nothing. And it's why so many people ended up quitting there. That's why you had that mass resignation around like 2021 or so is what it is there. And, I know Duke, when he was saying here about, like his work ethic and then like work ethic with people and stuff like that, like, and my thing is, it's not like I don't have work ethic, honestly, myself. My thing is, I am so fucking crippled anymore, dude. Like, it's hard to even get out of bed some days, honestly. I mean that seriously. Like, there are times where I literally am debating about creating a pulley system to literally pull myself out of bed and then grab a cane to pull myself up to a standing position, because that's how fucked up my body is right now after 21 years of hell at this point. Well, not quite 21 years, but it's almost 20. It'll be 21 this coming December is what it is, when I have my full body peeling. And yeah, like, that's the thing a lot of people don't realize, dude. Like, there is, and I will agree, dude, there's a lot of fucking people. There's a lot of actual able-bodied people that are just a bunch of lazy motherfuckers who are literally jacking the system right now. And I'm going to say it like it is, dude. It's mostly blacks, legitimately. They are the worst fucking race in this country that takes everything out of the goddamn system and puts almost nothing back into it, is what it is, dude. And it's the same thing with Latinos, for that matter, too. Like, they're the second highest ones that take out of the system and put almost nothing back into it. People that actually put into the system for welfare benefits and stuff like that, whites and Asians, legitimately, dude, by definition. So, yeah, it's a bunch of shit, dude. And the thing is, and what I've seen a lot of lately, actually, is mixed race couples, for that matter, that they'll specifically, it's like some able-bodied chick, whatever the case be, dude, instead of going to work and stuff like that and making money and stuff like that for her kids, take care of her kids is what it is, she'll sit there and space out the births of her children, which may or may not be with the same man, for that matter. It could be 4 or 5 different guys, honestly, she has kids with. Sometimes it's the same dude, sometimes it's 2, 3 baby daddies, etc. there. But she'll sit there and she'll space it out just enough to where it's like, oh, your benefits are about to be expiring, or we're going to cut off your EBT because you don't have a child, or whatever the case be, or like what benefits are going to go away, whatever it is there, and then they'll immediately have a kid. Is what it is, dude. That's why you look at these kids and it's like you got one kid that's like a baby, like literally like a newborn, maybe a month or two old at that point, and then the next one up's like 2, 3 years old at that time, and then the one above that's like 5 years old. And it's because they space them out like every 2, 3 years is what it is there, because it's how long they have for benefits is what it is, until they get tossed off the system is what it is then. And don't even get me fucking started, by the way, on all the illegals coming over our country right now and somehow getting benefit systems when I'm getting fucked over right now for disabilities currently is what it is, dude. Like, there's a bunch of shit there too, for that matter. You have these people that'll come into our country, not speak a fucking goddamn word of English, and yet they'll be able to go in there and get off of our fucking system in our fucking states. Money I personally have put into the system over the years from actually working previously, or my family has, for that matter. And yet these fuckers are able to take that money out, not even being a legal U.S. citizen, by the way, and yet I'm sitting here trying to fight with disability for years now is what it is, dude. For crippling arthritis, for autism issues, for a bunch of different stuff. Like, that's the shit that fucking pisses me off, dude. And my thing is, it's not like I'm above working either. Like, if I could find a job right now that people would be like, okay, we understand you have these health issues and stuff like that, maybe we'll go today or whatever the case be, but like, as long as you can have like 2 or 3 days, here's what it is, you can work for us. And I could basically will myself into a place those 2 or 3 days. Like, if I was sitting at like a gun counter selling guns on like a stool or something all day long, dude, like, that'd be a perfect job for me. If I was sitting at a card shop, selling MTG or whatever the case be at that point, I could totally do that job, honestly. If I was sitting there for fucking 4 hours a day at a gaming shop and stuff like that, literally sorting through long boxes of Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! and Magic and stuff like that, I would totally be able to do that shit, honestly, dude. But that's the problem, though, is it's very hard to find those kind of jobs. or it's very hard to find like some kind of computer job that I'm actually qualified for that I wouldn't need to get a degree for is what it is then. Because that would be the other thing I could possibly do is what it is then. But that's the issue. It's like, you know, and even then, with my crippling arthritis, you know, like there's, like I'm going to show it right now, dude. Look at this, the fucking, you know, bumps on my knuckles right there. Like that's all arthritic shit, dude. Like there's been days in the week, like seriously, that's what my fucking finger does now when it tries to bend from my ring finger on my right hand, dude. Like that's how it bends now because it can't fucking bend any longer properly. Like the same thing with most of my knuckles. Like I can't even make a proper fist anymore without my knuckles being fucked up, dude. Like actually earlier today right here, it was like this joint and like that joint were like crippling pain. And that's what I'm saying. Like I'm sitting here like literally my fingers will go triggering to where they're like stiffen up completely. And I'm sitting here like looking at my hand, like trying to bend my finger and tears streaming down my fucking eyes because I'm in so much pain. And yet people try to tell me, oh, you're not crippled enough yet to qualify for disability. Get the fuck out of here. It's a bunch of shit, dude. I am so fucking sick and tired of it, dude. I really am. And that's the truth of the matter at the end of the day. And like I said, it's not like I'm above working. But the thing is, people got to realize, like, I have so many health issues at this point. I'll be lucky if I'm not living in assisted living at some point in the next 5 to 6 years of my life, honestly, dude. By the time I'm like 45, honestly. And I hate to say that, but it's the truth right now. Like, that's how bad off things have gotten right now, dude. And, like, since Mom's death 6 months ago, like, my health has declined like fucking crazy anymore. Like, it's gotten really bad. And now we got to deal with this fucking stupid bullshit between multiple people throwing offers on the table for the house to where we got a fucking bidding war basically going right now. If the original people that want to actually bid up or not. And then it's going to go back to the other guy and see if he wants to bid more than if that be the case, if they do. And yeah, it's going to be a whole fucking shit show. So instead of being able to just get the process going already and have the shit done within the end of the fucking month, now it's going to be more time fucking wasted. Now it's going to be more time my family's on the hook to pay the fucking mortgage right now. And the electricity and everything else like that here. I don't know. I'm just over at this point, honestly, dude. I really am. Like, I'm just ready for the fucking collapse to happen right now is what it is, man. I really am, honestly. I guess that's how much I feel like anymore. It's like, just let the shit happen. You know, if people are going to fucking, you know, paradrop out of the sky, just let me go outside one day and fucking just fucking spray a line, bitch. Be done with it. And if I die in that first firefight, it's fucking so be it at that point, honestly. You know, at least I took out a bunch of fucking piece of shit invaders with me is what it is then, dude. And maybe I saved other people in the long run. Obviously, I shouldn't have those kind of thoughts, honestly, because it shouldn't go to that point, but, you know, I feel like that's what we're heading towards anymore, dude. And that's the thing. And, like, you know I've actually read parts of that book, Soft Apocalypse. I never got a chance to actually read the whole thing. I actually need to go to a library one of these days, see if I can't find the book and just read it on paperback or something like that then. Basically, the gist of that book, from my understanding, from me, like, listening to the first couple of chapters I found on, like, an audiobook is what it is there, is you basically have these dudes who are, it's an alternate reality universe of basically Earth, where it is, you have a collapse in America of some kind. It's like a slow collapse is what it is. That's why it's called apocalypse, obviously. Because obviously an actual apocalypse, like hard apocalypse, would be like everybody's, you know, scavenging out of trash cans for food at that point, basically, is what it would be. Whereas this one, it's, you still have like certain people working, depending on the jobs, obviously, and the job market is what it is there. Because there's a lot of jobs that have basically just, you know, completely collapsed out. Like the bottom has fallen out is what it is there. Because, like, I think it's mixed between automation and some other shit is what it is there. And so you have these two guys who are part of this little nomadic tribe is what it is. And they're basically using, the beginning of the book is they're using like this little solar powered thing, whatever the case be, in essentially the middle of a like freeway off ramp deal. So when people come like, you know, flying by or whatever the case be, they can like have their solar fan thing like be used to like charge their batteries and stuff like that. And then it's basically these two dudes trying to like, sell off these battery charger things to some local bowling alley is what it is there. And like the bowling alley has like no lights is what it is. And there's only like, 2 or 3 people in there bowling, but then they have to go back and like reset the pins up every time they want to do another, round is what it is then. Because there's no longer electricity to actually, redo the pins for them is what it is there. And it's like, it's like that kind of stuff is what is going on there. And so obviously during all that, you also have people being mass deported, most of which are illegals, but there's also some people who are legal, Latinos and stuff like that in the country, or any kind of, people like that would be like legal and stuff, like naturalized citizens and stuff. They're also being deported in these massive raids and stuff, because a lot of the times it's basically like giant, camps at that point, like giant homeless encampments is what it is. They're being, raided and deported and stuff like that, or some of them are American citizens that have been forced onto the streets like that is what it is there. And there's a lot of other people that are actually illegally in this country is what it is then. And so, yeah, it's basically that crazy mix like that. And that's what I think, honestly, like we're heading towards right now is you have, and it's by design, by the way. And I know I was watching something on Alex Jones' channel the other day on X, there's what it was. And he was mentioning something about how I guess the whole 2030 agenda is now the 2025 agenda, because you had Bilderberg, World Economic Forum, et cetera, there realize, hey, we got to jack this up like 5 years is what it is now. And so what they're trying to do is go for broke right now is what it is. And that's why you're seeing like this crazy, like, turn of stuff right now where you got them like basically stealing the French elections there for like some leftist crazy terrorist people and stuff like that. Like you had one guy that was Antifa the other day who was like a known basically domestic terrorist in the country, now become part of the French parliament. It's like, are you fucking kidding me, bro? Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Like, how was that guy even allowed to run for office to begin with when he's on a fucking terror watch list in that country, dude? It's fucking psychotic is what it is, bro. And then there's all kinds of like Islamic takeover going on over there too, for that matter. And it's like, that's what I was talking with the guys last night after the chat is what it was. I'm like, yeah, I'm legitimately fearful right now of a lot of these fucking first world nations even having nuclear weaponry right now, dude, because it's like, who the hell is to say Islam's not going to get a hold of that here in the next like year or two and fucking use it against us? Whether it be against us or whether it be against other countries for that matter. And it's just a scary thought to think about, dude. Like, God forbid these fuckers get nuclear launch codes and stuff. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. It would have been like South Africa after apartheid ended and stuff like that. Now you got that fucking black supremacist piece of shit, Julius Malema, in there now, who's basically calling for the death of whites across the world at this point. And my question on that one is, okay, like that dude is obviously a threat to like not even just like white people as a race at this point, dude, but like everybody across the board, because he wants to kill off like everybody that's not black, basically, is what it is there, or basically a black supremacist, I should say. And it's like, yeah, why has that dude not been drone struck out of existence at this point, dude? Seriously, like, you can't tell me that we don't have surveillance footage and stuff. We couldn't get it very easily, like Trump with that Taliban terrorist guy, where he pulls out that fucking picture and like shows it to his family and shit, or shows him his house and stuff like that with his family in it there. It's like, yeah, you can't tell me the same exact thing wouldn't be with like Malema's ass, dude. Or we couldn't just get like, surveillance footage of this motherfucker and then just be like, hey, buddy, you want to fuck around? You're about to find out, bitch. So, or better yet, just like I said, you got the fucking footage of where he's living at, dude. At that time, just be like, fucking drone strike that motherfucker out of existence with this then, dude. And there you go. One less dictator fucking off this planet, basically, is what it is then, dude. Permanently. So, but yeah, it's just fucking ridiculous what it is, dude. Like, you have these people that just, they want to do us harm, they want to do us bad. And then you have these other folks out there that are just the scumbags of society who, like I said, they don't want to work. They want to, and a lot of times, like, going back to what I said to begin with the first couple minutes of this episode, you have these people who will sit there and they will pull this bullshit. And it'll be the same ones, by the way, that are doing the exact same shit we've seen many times that's caused entire food deserts in different places like that, dude. It's like that video of that black dude and his fucking family. They went into a Walmart, and the guy's sitting on the floor with his kids. The mother of the kids and all the kids are eating fucking ice cream that they stole off the shelf is what it is. And then he's sitting there with a big old bag of chips he pops open and some dip, and he's dumping like half the chips on the fucking disgusting ass floor for some reason, then picking them up off the floor and eating them with the fucking dip and shit like that. And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Like, for multiple reasons, honestly, on that one. Like, you're just a piece of shit thief at that point is what it is, dude. And then these same assholes or people that are like adjacent to them at that point wonder like, oh, why is there food deserts now? It's like, I don't know, because your fucking dickhead buddies in the fucking same community you live in rob the place of their goddamn existence is what it is, people. We never want to talk about that shit. Instead, you got fucking dipshit retard fucking morons like that fucking ass clown Brandon Johnson there in Chicago, the current fucking idiot mayor, who's a damn cheater for that matter too, for that on the whole thing. His fucking idiotic ass is now trying to blame Richard Nixon, who's been dead for 30 fucking years, for the problems of Chicago, dude. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? You're the goddamn mayor of the place. You want to talk about the root causes of fucking why black communities are shit in this fucking country, dude? Here's a wild fucking idea. It's maybe because a bunch of them are Follis Holmes, asshole. Like, that's a big ass fucking root cause is pieces of shit like you, Johnson, even being in fucking office right now, because all you're doing is embezzling fucking money from the American people, both through your paycheck and also through bullshit fucking programs you're creating that do nothing except fucking allow embezzlement to happen there. And you're taking all this money that should be going back to the people and actually creating like good and just having it slid in people's pockets under your fucking friends, family, etc. there. That's what most of these fuckers do, dude. It's like Tiffany Henyard's ass there in that, I think it's like Illinois or whatever there. Like, this bitch literally stole like several $1 million from the taxpayers there, and yet she's still not sitting in federal prison to this day right now, dude. Like, what the fuck, bro? It just, it blows my fucking mind, dude. It really does. And most of these people, like, when they get in office like that, they will literally create a position out of nothing just so they can have their you know, sister, brother, aunt, uncle, whatever it is there, like some first cousin, second cousin, whatever it is there, to them. So they can basically have this quote-unquote position, but it's nothing more than basically embezzlement, because you're creating a bullshit position that doesn't need to exist anyway, just so you can pay them $100,000+ a year or more. And it's literally fucking legal embezzlement at that point, dude. Which it shouldn't be, because it's technically illegal at that point, truthfully. So it's just insane to me, dude. And it always tends, like, every single time you look at it, too, by the way, it always tends to go back to the Democrat Party at this point, dude. Because it's every single one of these people that are doing this shit are always fucking Democrat people in power at that point. I'm not saying Republicans are that much better, but, like, they're not massively embezzling, like, right in your fucking face with the shit, dude. So, they're also not the ones trying to grab your guns every fucking 5 seconds is what it is there, where Democrats love to pull that shit every single chance they get. Hell, they'll create mass shootings in this country just to make it fucking happen then. Like they did with Uvalde a couple years ago now, where they like willed that shit into existence and then fucking, you know, then pass that BS unconstitutional shit, that bipartisan Civil Communities Act, garbage that they call it is what it is there. Which, by the way, is something more non-constitutional trash that needs to be fucking repealed on the spot right now is what it is. And then you got some fucking piece of shit Texas state rep there named Ron Reynolds, who the other day was talking about basically creating some crazy retard gun control, where his whole thing was basically arm all these black males that are a bunch of criminals in the fucking state of Texas there, and act like Republicans want gun control after the fact. It's like, no, dude, you already these criminals having fucking guns anyway, dude, because they just steal them is what it is there. Like, what the hell's wrong with you, buddy? So, and it's like, I don't give a fuck who's armed as long as they're legally armed is what it is. In fact, I've talked about it before, running for office on platforms and stuff like that, dude, and legitimately, it would be, if I was to run for governor of this state right now, in 2026, one of the platforms I would run on right now would be an actual platform to where it would be every legal citizen of Ohio, 18 and over, would basically be de facto drafted, if they wanted to be, wouldn't really be a de facto draft, but it would basically be like a, if they would want the free gun, basically, that comes with it is what it is. It would be, okay, you're now de facto part of a civilian militia in the states, what it would be then. And yeah, anybody that'd be part of the civilian militia then, they would be able to then get into a free gun or two for that matter. Because most likely what would happen then is we would actually buy out the inventory of High Point, and we would literally gift them a C9 or a yeet cannon, depending on what it would be at this point. And then a carbine in 9mm. And then we would just teach them how to shoot these guns is what it is at a range. And then you'd basically go through the whole thing at that point, and it would be, you know, Like, we basically just do like some weird background, like essentially what it would be is it would be like a weird background check thing where it would be them being legally allowed to purchase what it is then or whatever, just to make sure they're not, a criminal and stuff like that with a record that is like primitive people and stuff like that. And then from there, it would basically be, doing your thing to, get like basic firearms training at that point then. And then those guns would belong to them at that point then. And if they would be called upon at any given time, that's what they would show up with to begin with, is what it is then. If like something were to happen here in Ohio, like whether it be, land, sea, air, whatever the case be, yeah, they would be called upon to be a civilian militia at that point then. And there'd be ammo ready for them to use for those firearms then at different spots and stuff like that. So, and the weird background checks things that we would do would basically just be, proving that they could buy the stuff, and then it would immediately be like right through a fucking shredder of paperwork at that point then, because fuck the government is what it is, dude. So we're not going to keep no de facto gun roster for their asses at that point. But anyway. But yeah, it's just ridiculous what it is, dude. And yeah, I think there's a lot of people out there, they want to work, but again, they don't want to work for nothing is what it is. Like, there's a lot of people that will work, but the problem is like, they don't want to work for like, $5, $6, $7, $8 an hour is what it is, dude. They want to get like, $10, $12, $15 an hour. That's why you got groups like here in Ohio where they're trying to literally do a minimum wage increase to $15 an hour, but yet those people were so fucking lazy this last go around. They should have had on this ballot, by the way, in November. But yet they were too lazy to actually get enough signatures. So they're like, oh, it's not going to be until 2025 at some point, y'all. So the problem with $15 an hour minimum wage, though, is like, it's like, dude, you have actual like decent jobs in the state right now that pay less than that. So if you're going to jack that to $15 an hour, like, why the hell are we paying like firefighters or something like that, like $10, $13 an hour or something like that? It's fucking stupid is what it is, bro. Like $12, $15, $13 an hour there is what it is. So yeah, it's just ridiculous what it is, man. And the real problem is, again, it's like the issue with minimum wage in general is it's supposed to be the minimum you're getting paid to do something because of your skill set. If you have a better skill set, you're going to get paid more is what it is, and a better job is what it is then. And I think the biggest problem with society in general is, and I'm talking about across all races at this point, is that we are not actually giving people the ability to better themselves with, in-school trades and stuff like that is what it is, man. And I've talked about this many times. This is one of the platforms we've been on before is what it is. We need to have 6-year trade programs in every single public education system in this country right now is what it is, dude. Like, that would be the best way to do things right now, is you give these kids from 6th to 12th grade the ability to get a skilled trade background, and you're going to have such a better workforce coming out of high school at that point. It's not even going to be funny. And you can literally have the last 2 years, junior and senior year of high school, be on the job training for most of the day is what it is then. Like, they would basically show up. They would show up at the beginning of the day, obviously to, be like, hey, I'm here for the day or whatever the case be for school. And then maybe they'd have like one class or something like that, like early on in the morning or something, like, whatever the first class of the day would be, like whether it be a study hall or something else for that matter. And then from there, it would basically be the rest of their school day would be, by 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, they would be leaving the school at that point and going to their job for the day, as it would be. And then they would basically, go to that job for, 4 or 5 hours, whatever it is there, come back to the school and be like, hey, I'm done with the day basically at this point for that thing. And then they go back to that job again for the next couple hours would be then. And do like an 8-hour shift of the job would be then. Or it would be like a 6-hour shift depending here and there, but it would be a whole thing there at that point. And it would be, on the job training and being able to actually become an apprentice in certain things that it is then. And then eventually by the time, they're out of high school, they're already basically almost on that journeyman route in many cases. And then they could basically train up the next group of people. Then is what it is, dude. And you could have like this ever creating or it's like an ever fulfilling thing at that point where it's basically, you start with 1 or 2 and you go on that route, and then it basically becomes a whole thing at that point then. So, but yeah, I'm just so sick of all of it is what it is, dude. Like, I'm just ready for something to happen right now. And whether that be, a full-blown collapse, whether that be a soft apocalypse type of event where it's basically a slow collapse, whether it be, you know, a full-blown grid down kind of situation, a full-blown martial law situation, whatever the fuck happens at this point. I'm just ready for it, honestly, dude. Like, I'm just ready to go at this point, honestly. And I know if it's all said, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I have the skill sets that would need to be able to survive for at least a little bit of time anyway. Whether that be a couple weeks, couple months, whatever the case be, who knows. But it would be some amount of time after that, though. Whereas I'm sure there would be a lot of people that wouldn't be able to survive a day or two, honestly. So I know people have talked about the whole 9 meals from Anarchy thing is what it is, but really that became like 3 meals. And I've seen some people, man, where if they're hungry for more than a few hours, like, buddy, they're like 1 meal away from fucking like eating your face off, basically at that point. So anyway, I know NEA is about to go live, so I'm gonna go finish up here is what it is then. And yeah, I really just want to come on here and sort of rant about some stuff because I do feel like sometimes with Duke's chats there, he is like personally attacking me unknowingly, and it makes me feel very bad, honestly. I also feel like he's kind of attacking Corey in some ways, because Corey's in a similar situation to where I am, but then again, the motherfucker has a brain tumor as well on top of everything else. Yeah, Texas still fucking him out for years now. It's like, are you kidding me, bro? Like, that's the thing. There's supposed to be a blue book of like guaranteed things. Pretty sure a fucking, benign brain tumor has got to be on that. I know arthritis is supposed to be, which again, they fucked me on that one though. So I don't know why my fucking video is going out weirdly. It's weird. I don't know. Maybe it's the storm effects or something across the thing right now. Whatever. Anyway, I'm just fucking over it all, man. And I definitely think we are heading towards something right now. And I think the closer that we get towards collapse, you're gonna have the more people just say, you know what, fuck it, I'm done, and just try to get on welfare programs and stuff like that. And that's maybe what's going to be the final thing that takes us down that slide of eventual just everything is fucked at that point then. But who knows? Either way, I'm fucking over it. I'm fucking done. And I'm just sick and tired of all of it. And I'm not willing to mince words at this point, dude. I'll say it like it is right now. I say it like it is fucking 2-3 minutes into this episode today. And I'll continue to say it like it is, dude. Until people want to fix their shit and actually address the real root causes of issues in this country, nothing's going to change. Until communities actually want to get together and address all this homeless problems and everything else related to that stuff. The fucking ghetto-ass drill rap, etc. crap like that that's causing these kids to become little gangbangers by the time they're like fucking 8 and 10 years old, for God's sakes. Nothing's going to change, dude. Legitimately. Like, no amount of fucking so-called, community leaders are going to do fuck all at that point, dude. You have to literally catch these kids before they fall through those fucking cracks, is what it is, dude. And get rid of that fucking garbage-ass shit you call music at this point, dude. Seriously. If we just ban that crap outright, it'd be better for this country entirely for the next couple of decades anyway. But anyways, that's about where I'm at right now, though. So hope you guys enjoyed this aftermath. I'll be back. Well, depends if this actually stays up or not, because if it doesn't, I probably won't be back on this channel. I'll probably be back on the secondary channel. That's the network channel with my little, the black and white moniker one. On Thursday for Buckshot Thursday. But yeah, if this does stay up and we're good to go and stuff like that, I'll be back in a couple of days, probably is what it is. Then sometime Wednesday, my guess. Maybe Thursday. Yes, I'm aware of that, but it definitely it feels like he is sometimes, honestly. I get he's trying to broad brush is what it is, but when you're, part of that broad brushing, it does feel that way. And like I said, if you go back to this whole chat, I've explained my own health issues and stuff like that. I don't want to go into it any further than that. But yeah, I've definitely been in. Specifically, this hand is getting worse and worse every day, and this one's not too good either right now. So, and the fact this is my dominant shooting hand, I'm going to start shooting offhand pretty soon is what it's going to be. So, it's not good. And, I mean, you should be ambidextrous anyway with firearms too, but at the same time, most people aren't. They always still have that one dominant hand is what it is. But yeah, if things go south enough, it might be a situation where I'm just having to do like AR pistols or something like that in the future, then as my carry gun or something. So anyway, but other than that, that's what I'm at for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this. See y'all on the next one. I'll be heading over to NEAs, and I expect y'all to as well, because I'll be modding that chat. So later, y'all. Peace out.